right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show, Hour 2. Very excited about this. We've been trying to arrange this for a couple days, but he's a busy man, which is exactly how he should be. That's Andy Biggs, Representative Andy Biggs, and future governor of the state of Arizona. So honored to have you here. There was probably no political mission, at least in the near term, that Charlie was more passionate about than helping get you elected as the next governor of Arizona. So it's great to have you here.
Thanks, Andrew. Great to be with you.
Yeah.
Great to be with
and as you said before we got on air, no pressure. You were Charlie's, like, probably, I mean, there was a few finals, like Nate Morris in Kentucky, and but this was going to be a
AZ
major...
was the big one, because he was like, I want the desert Florida.
He wanted the Florida-fication of Arizona, and he just had complete trust in your credentials as a conservative. You love the people of this state, and he knew you were going to put in the work, and that's why I was joking. I was like, so it was actually harder to book this than it was like Tucker Carlson, to get on the show. And just in the last couple of days, because you were out on the road, you were up north, and you had all these events scheduled. So tell us, how's the campaign going, and how are you feeling about things?
Well, the campaign's going great. Polling's good. We're raising money, solid money, more than I've ever raised in my time in office, and also. As we're all over the state, because, Andrew, we are getting all over the state, the momentum is really strong. We really feel it and sense it, and people come out. And think about this. We're a year before the election, and last week one of our crowds had probably about 350 people at it for one event.
Wow.
And so this type of thing this far in advance is really kind of unusual, particularly in this state.
Well, I like to think that Charlie and the energy that Charlie was putting into this is contributing, because I think, there is a sense that we even feel it from the team. The last things that Charlie wanted, or the last visions that he was casting, and by the way, he's left certain blueprints that take us all the way through 2030, that we're going to be following, that it's, those are even more dear to us. And so I think we speak for all of this show, this audience, for Turning Point Action. We say that, we're behind you like 100%, 1,000%. And, anything that you need that we can do, we're excited to help. And here's what I will say. This is some good news. If you throw up image 297, this is breaking. On the one-on-one matchup, you are up 24% with 14 undecided. This is for the primary. On a three-person ballot, you're up, it looks, 22%? That's, I mean, those are solid margins, Congressman, future governor. What is behind this? What are you hearing from people on the ground that is getting them so animated this early on?
Well, I think there's several things, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention President Trump's endorsement.
Yes, of course,
and Charlie's endorsement, and Turning Point Action's endorsement. Those endorsements are really critical. But also, I'd like to think in part that people know that I have a voting background. You can see how I voted. You can see how I've led the state when I was in the state, and how I've worked in Congress. And so what we have found is, even before, and I told this to President Trump one time, I said, before he endorsed me, I said, Mr. President, I'm already up 40%, so don't knock me down with that endorsement. But anyway, he gave me that endorsement, and that's pretty solid. So the type of people who support me and back me, that's just as important as it can possibly be.
So, I mean, listen, you obviously don't have to convince me, but for those listening that are like, maybe they're wondering who they're going to support, what is your platform? What are you planning on doing for the state of Arizona? What's your vision?
So we do have a vision. So the first thing is public safety. So I literally was just talking to a radio show down in Tucson, and they were talking about the crime. Well, that's a problem in Tucson that the state's going to probably have to intervene in. So we should be the safest state. We have I over-explain, Andrew.
I love it. No, I mean, get wonky if you have to. I'll pull you out. We'll make it interesting.
Okay, all right. So we have over just about 400 to 500 vacancies in Arizona's Department of Public Safety right now. That's your troopers on the street and everything like that. That means that the places, counties that don't have enough sheriff's deputies, they're having to fill in, and it just causes this downstream effect, which is not good. So we should be the safest state in the country. And why is that? Because you have to follow the rule of law. If you have the rule of law, you have freedom. And that's the goal, is to have freedom in the state. The second thing is we've gone from being number 4 in job creation in the state to being number 47.
Whoa.
And so we've really fallen off the map. And so you have to make sure we're competing with states that are eliminating things like income tax and that are streamlining.
Yeah, what's your plan there?
We're going to eliminate income tax.
I would vote yes on that.
Yeah, and then we're going to streamline the regulations, which is what we're competing against states that are doing that. So a lot of jobs that used to come to Arizona, they're flying over, right? So we've got to fix that. Then we still have a border problem. We have the number 1 human drug trafficking corridor in the country. That's not good for families, individuals, and so we have to put a stop to that.
Is that still top of mind with voters, given the crackdown on the border that President Trump has accomplished?
It is. They're grateful for the border being secure mostly, but we still have these corridors. So we have places like in Yuma. I was just in Yuma the other day, and San Luis, and they were talking about the smuggling, and I'll be on a panel today about human trafficking, and it's a real issue for the state. And Andrew, water.
Yes.
So water's a big deal. We actually have a lot of water in this state. It's just totally mismanaged by this particular governor. She's mismanaged it so much that she's killing the American dream. The American dream used to be, I want to own a home, build a family. If you do own a home, you see family formation come. Well, she's killing it because there are places you cannot build a home, single-family home, in Arizona today because of her water policies. So we have to fix that. Power policies, the reliance on solar and wind, which is unreliable, has to be subsidized, hard to distribute. We're going to replace that with natural gas. We're going to make sure that we're getting the new nuclear subcompact units coming in. There are things we're going to do, and we're going to turn the whole state around. And that's just on the policy side. The other aspect is I know how to do it on the procedure side. So I'll get elected in November of 26, Andrew. That's a Tuesday. And on Wednesday, you'll see a new speaker and a new Senate president. We'll have the Republican majority. And by that evening, I'll be sitting down with them, with the leadership, talking about how we're going to introduce and pass those bills that Governor Hobbs vetoed. We're talking about 300 vetoes right now. Things like the election integrity law. Just all of this.
Well, election integrity is huge, and I know that's a really important issue for the base here, especially in Arizona. But your background is, I think one of the things that people don't give you enough credit for or not aware enough of your background is how well you understand state-level politics, right? Yeah, you've been in Congress at the federal level for a long time, but that's your background. You know how to work the levers of power here in the state.
Yeah, I served in the legislature for a good number of years. I was the Senate president when I left to run for Congress. Before that, I was the Senate Majority Leader. I actually wrote the state budget for a good number of years. So I know how it works. I know how the leverage points are. I worked with 2 different governors, so I know how the executive branch is. So, of course, we're going to Doge it. I mean, having seen the budgeting process.
We love Doge.
Yeah,
we love Doge.
Yeah, we're going to Doge.
Oh, I love that. I bet you could find a lot of. I mean, and by the way, when you cut income tax down to eliminate it, there is other ways to make revenue that make more sense and that incentivize people in the right ways. But then you combine that rather with important spending cuts and getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. Oftentimes you come into a very beautiful middle ground. I guess that's your vision.
Yeah, that's right. You move to the middle ground. But the thing that's beautiful about that is you actually stimulate the economy more, which increases the velocity of movement of money. And when you do that, it means that you're going to actually increase your revenue. I mean, the history is always you increase your revenue when you reduce taxes.
I totally agree. I mean, this is why you've seen all the job growth go to the Sun Belt, and the red states in the Sun Belt. I mean, they're leaving California, but the goal here in Arizona needs to be, don't fly over and go to Texas or go to Florida. You can stop right here because we're going to have the most pro-business state in the country. In just a little while, when Andy Biggs is governor, we'll be right back. Oh, we've got a Patriot Mobile. Aha! I've got a live read. See, still learning the ropes here. Let me see. Where is it here? Did you leave it for me? Patriot Mobile. I realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all of the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that's Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 major networks. So, by the way, I have 2 networks on my phone. So, thank you, Patriot Mobile. They're the best, and they love Charlie. They love Turning Point, and they've always been such amazing friends of ours here. So, call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/Charlie, patriotmobile.com/Charlie. Use promo code Charlie for a free month of service. We'll be right back.